Yeah, so this is our last class. The last time we will all be staring at the same screen at the same time. How'd the class go? um, so today I thought what we would do was one sort of go over some of the recent videos that you posted on about Patrick Forber's stuff. I've been quite pleased with those pieces, and so I'd love to with you folks and sort of talk about how y'all have improved, because you all have improved. Your videos have gotten much better since we began, so that's gratifying. Yeah, so I thought we'd go over those videos and then just sort of spend another 10-20 minutes doing general course feedback. I'd love to hear from you about how things went. And then we will be done and you'll have completed one more class at Binghamton. Yeah, so would anyone like to volunteer to have us watch their video first?
Will you start with mine if you want?
Great, cool. Let me pull up the link and I will post it to you all. Okay. All right, it is. Where's the chat box? There. The link is in the chat box. I'm gonna mute myself.
This is Sarge. This is Rob. Rob provides Sarge with food, water, and
Okay. Anybody have initial thoughts?
I honestly really liked the graphics and thought that the coordination delight part, at the end, was really well explained. Like when Patrick was going over it, to be honest, I had no idea what was going on with the C minus D and A minus B. But the way Chris explained it made it so much easier to follow. So I was kind of happy because I actually understood it afterwards.
Yeah, I concur, Chris. That was a really fantastic job.
In
The
sort of a
way that
theoretical game strategy type of way. One point that you mentioned was classification based on the fitness effects.
somebody's playing.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I didn't even realize.
Yeah, well, Chris, it was very, very well done. The pacing was really strong. Like you specifically you changed the images at exactly the right point. I really liked the little injections of humor there, especially at the beginning. Some of it was kind of weird, like altruism with a big nuclear bomb. What?
Well, it's ironic. It's like
What?
the opposite. That side of things.
That was creative.
The real problem was I recorded it weird, and the owl part was really loud, so I had to keep doing the markers in Premiere to make the volume lower, and it's kind of weird. The volume is very monotone. But I really made it lower. I killed it.
No, it worked quite well. Yeah, and who is Rob?
Rob is my buddy. He just lives a few doors down from me, and he has this beautiful dog. And he went to the nature reserve and took these awesome pictures. I was like, dude, I'm so gonna use you guys for altruism because I figured if I personify the factors, it'll help people follow along and help you learn it instead of just person one, person two. We got Rob and Sarge.
Yeah, I think it was very well done. One thing I'll go back and rewatch it. But there's some factual mistake at the very, very end, or disconnect between the audio and the video. I think you use the word cooperation, but coordination is what's written as on the thing.
I noticed going back, I posted it, and then I watched Victoria's, and I realized that I was saying cooperation, not coordination game. I did it twice, but I posted it, I was done. I was I'm just not gonna go insert me saying the word coordination awkwardly, forcing it in there. I figured I'll just leave it. But yeah, I totally keep calling it cooperation games, but I always say twice. And it's not that off.
No, it's not that bad. Yeah, it's just and the funny thing about videos, right, is they're so detail oriented, and it's very easy to miss something like that, and then it's such a pain to go back to fix. Yeah. Well, great job.
Thank you.
All right. I think we should watch another one. Who wants to go next?
We can watch mine.
Okay. Let me find yours. In the chat box, I'm gonna mute myself. Okay, any initial thoughts on that one?
I liked how she used like a section of our lecture first and then went in and explained it afterwards through her video. And I liked how she like backed up her, I think I wrote this as a comment, but I liked how she backed up her statements using that other paper that she read.
Yeah, I definitely how she expanded Forber's Is it X?
Yeah, maybe hold on. Let me see if I can. I'm gonna mute Noang. Chris, can you say that again?
Yeah, so I really like just in any video in general, specifically this one, when like the ideas of the lecture are expanded upon, and you know it brings in a new like thought within the same general topic. So you know like the lines isn't something we necessarily discussed with Patrick, but it was definitely cool to like learn something new that has to do with this thing we just learned so much about. Like definitely appreciate that. And then like the transition between her clips from the lecture to like what she was saying was excellent. Like I thought like it was almost like she was telling the story of Patrick's lecture and she was the narrator for really complex thoughts, but then it kept cutting back. I almost would have like maybe enjoyed like one more cut of Patrick at the end, you know, but that's just me.
Yeah, Victoria, I really appreciated the extra research. That were you familiar with that paper from another class, or did you just look it up for the purpose of this video?
I just looked it up. Like I just kept looking up different, like I kept searching like cooperative hunting tactics in animals, and I was getting super frustrated because I had to like buy all these papers to, like there were so many good ones, but I didn't want to buy any. And then I came across this one, and I was able to access the full paper for free, and it ended up like it was perfect. Like it coincided so well with what Patrick was saying, so I was really happy that I found it. And it went into like other stuff, but I kind of just focused on what kind of tied back to Patrick's talk.
Mm-hmm. This is a little bit of a side, but you know that you have access to all of those papers through your Binghamton email account, right?
I tried that, but a lot of them were like, "Oh, pay this amount." Like I even went into like Binghamton libraries and logged in, and I still like had limited access. I don't know why, but
yeah, their interface is super shitty, basically. But like you have to go to the library website and then go to find it and then type in the thing, and then you have to click like 8 times, but it is possible to access almost all papers.
Oh, okay.
But I guess you're losing that Binghamton email like next
Yeah.
week. So anyway, that paper choice was fantastic. And like Chris said, you know, it really did feel like, you know, there a story that you were trying to tell, and I really liked how you sort of took different pieces. You had bits from Patrick, and you had bits that you drew, and you had bits that you were saying, and examples from the paper, and you wove them all together really skillfully. So yeah, so that was great.
Thank you.
I noticed there was one, I don't know what the timestamp is. I'll go back and look, but there was one area where that same audio problem that you had in your last video was coming up again.
So I feel like it has to do with my GoPro, like because within like okay, so I recorded with my GoPro and then I uploaded it to my laptop using like GoPro software, and then I screen record that playing, and within the GoPro software there's like low audio and then it increases. So it's
you wait, you upload it to GoPro and then you screen capture your screen?
Yeah, because I don't know how to get it out of GoPro, so I just screen record it. So it's like so much edit.
Oh, it's so cumbersome.
I know, but I don't know anything.
Okay, so here's a GoPro, right? The thing to do is to take out the memory card, and just plug the memory card into your computer, and then it'll open up in Finder or PC.
No, I have Mac.
Okay, yeah. So just open it up in Finder, and all of the video files will just be there here in an MP4 format, and you can just drag them directly into Premiere. Yeah,
Okay. So
GoPro software to be good, but it's not.
yeah.
It's yeah. So I would not use GoPro software.
Okay, so hopefully that will fix the volume problem, because I was like going into Adobe and making some of the clips that seemed low, and I would increase the volume level. But I was just like, but the issue is like within, like even before I put it in Adobe, it's low. So I was like, this is weird.
Yeah. I am thoroughly impressed. I mean, because it's part of the, I guess part of the way that I teach this class. Like, I just kind of say like, go make some videos, and I don't tell anybody really anything. And y'all figure things out on your own. Like, real, y'all are smart. But it's always amusing to me how there are these like gerrymandered solutions to problems that people figure out because the elegant one is just not obvious enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, cool. I guess the other thing is that your cuts could be a little bit tighter. And like actually maybe we could watch Richard's video next, because it's like there's a tricky balance to it, and I think Richard, you tend to err on the other side of like you cut too much or cut too quickly. So there's quite an art to it. But in general, it's like I could compress it into a sentence. It's like you wanna cut at the end of each of your sentences, and you want there to be no airspace in between a period and the next word, but you don't want to really cut in the middle of a sentence, because if you cut in the middle of a sentence, you mess up the sentence's natural pacing, and it looks weird. So like the last cut, you actually went to black for a few frames, and so that was a little bit jarring. And then there are some other cuts that were a little bit small or a little slow, but that's like, it's a very nitpicky thing. Just like fantastic job. Like really, like it's a fantastic video.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. So Richard, could we watch your video next?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, cool. Let's go find that video. Okay, the link is in the chat box. I'm gonna mute my microphone. So any initial thoughts on that one?
I liked how just like how smiley and like enthusiastic he was at the beginning, because it started out the video like really good, and like you could tell that he was interested in the topic. So I was like, oh, okay, like I don't know, I just like when people are like kind of more bubbly. And then I liked his use of the diagram, because I think that like I think everyone used the diagram, but I think that that really helped with this particular topic. So I like the way that he incorporated that.
I really like the script and all the points made. I just struggled to hear you a bit. Like like if you could like go in the editor and just make the overall volume a little higher. And then yeah, other than that, like I think like the points you make are great, and what you decide to focus on is great. I just again just struggled to hear you. And like Maximus said at the start, like for the first minute, it's like you're almost cutting it a little too short, and you're like rushing through the dialogue. And like I'm almost not getting like a second to like absorb what you're saying. But again, like the script, awesome. Like I really do enjoy the points being made. I just wish I could have heard it a little better.
Yeah, there were some discrepancies in the audio levels too, which is a tricky thing. Like when I'm editing, before I edit, I check to see my PC's volume level. Like I keep it, you know, for my computer setup, it's 28, but I mean, it doesn't really matter what number you choose. But it's actually quite important to keep your speakers at the same volume the entire time that you're editing, because sometimes I'll like if I take a break and like watch a YouTube video or something and I change the volume and then I go back and then it's like half of my videos at one is set to one level and half of my video set to another, and it's a problem. And so like your audio in general was too quiet for most of the video, but then when you have the clip of the whale, it got like way too loud. And so just like paying attention to equalizing the audio is an important thing. And I guess the other thing I can say about the cutting is, I know this might sound a little strange or confusing, but it's like the way that you use cuts, specifically jump cuts in these videos, is kind of like the way that you use punctuation in prose. And so like you can use cuts to emphasize the end of something that you're saying. And so I think there are a number of sentences that you had where you did cut at the end of the sentence, but like you weren't, I didn't expect the sentence to end there or something. Like it was difficult to follow the rhythm of your language. And part of it was that it was quiet, but I think also it was because you put cuts in kind of funny places. So I don't know. It's a kind of thing that takes practice, but I next time, yeah, I guess just pay a little bit more attention to where you are cutting and the space around and between them.
Yeah, I tried to expand it, like you told me, like to expand the cards to be able to find it very well, but for some reason I'm finding it very difficult to cut like specific places that I want to edit. So I don't know. I'm gonna try my next video to try to be more specific, and then because I think, you know, sometimes like breaks and pauses are important. I thought maybe all breaks should be out, but I'll try to, you know, keep breaks in between to help, you know, differentiate when a sentence end and when a sentence is in between or something like that. And in general, I think I
Cool.
talked too low, but I didn't know, like with the different like volume speaker on the laptop or the computer, I didn't know about that it could have different like speaker level at different times. So I'll check on that on my next video.
Yeah, it's getting the audio is tough. And I think especially like where you have those headphones, were you editing with headphones the whole time?
No, No, I wasn't.
Okay.
But I try to use my
sometimes
headphones to record. I try to
sometimes
connect
if I
my
edit with
headphone.
headphones. Sorry, we're talking over each other. Anyway, yeah. Well, so I really liked the colorful rug. That I know that wasn't necessarily a conscious design point, but the rug that you were writing on, is that just like in? Are you in a dorm or like where is that rug?
Yeah, I took it from my mom.
Cool.
Could I just say one thing? In your last video, Richard, your like intro was in this really cool, really well lit like art gallery or something, and I thought that was awesome. If you made a video of just you standing in cool places explaining scientific concepts, I would watch that video every day of the week. Like if you just had like every like 40 seconds you changed where you were. You were just sitting on the couch, and then you were just like talking about like crazy scientific concepts. I would learn my whole major just watching those videos. That would be great.
I agree. I really like the background in your last video.
Yeah. I'll work on it. I went to the library.
Yeah. Where was that? It was at the library. It was so well lit. You had that lighting.
Yeah, it's like an art gallery place in the library. So yeah, I decided to choose that place.
Yeah, it was a good opening, and it also it had this nice strategy to it. I'll often do that with my videos. Is like you want to start the video really strong and really exciting to get people engaged. So that was good in that regard of like, oh, here's this like excited person standing up all energetic. Like it was a good hook. Then I was like, oh, where'd that nice camera and background go? I wanted it back.
Yeah, that in this video that it was like back to normal. I was like, damn, that the bar's so high.
Yeah, I'll try on my next video. Yeah, definitely on my next video.
Cool. Well, maybe we can go through everybody today. Wong or Melvina, you want to go next? Who wants to go next?
I can go next.
Cool. All right. I will find the right link. All right. Link is in the chat box. Okay. What do you folks think about that one?
I think what I really like about Nwang's video is how she connects the image with the video, how she pointed the left, I think, to the point she was trying to make. I think it's something really cool, and it makes, at least gives a connection between what she's saying and what she's presenting. And I also like the cutouts that she did. I feel like even a kid in the first grade or second grade would understand it if you try, to make it that basic and use stuff like that. And I think that's what we're trying to do, to make the information more simple for everyone to understand.
Also, I think her cuts have improved drastically, like infinitely from like the first video. It flows very well. It's very smooth throughout from start to finish. So the cuts are great, and I agree with everything Richard said. Especially like the pointing is real cool. She even makes eye contact with what she points to, which is like very personal to me. I enjoy it.
Go again.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, this video was a real dramatic improvement. And I really love watching, because it's just these things take practice, and so I really love watching each video as it improves. One decision that had me scratching my head a little bit was I was wondering why you chose not to that you were talking about in the animation that you did. Was that because you, why didn't you do that, I guess?
Wait, I'm sorry. I didn't hear like the first part of that question.
So when you were talking about the prisoner's dilemma and the stag hunt, you had the nice characters and you moved them around. I was hoping that you would have written numbers in the quadrants that as you were saying the numbers, so that we could keep track of the different weights of the game. Did you think about doing that?
I did, but the way I was filming so that it wouldn't shake a lot was that I put like a shoebox down and held my phone on top of the shoebox, and then it was like forcing my hands to move the little pieces around, so I couldn't be dynamic enough in that sense to write the numbers. So it was more of like a text than like a choice.
I see. Yeah, I had a feeling it was something like that. There's what I will often do, which I think you did as well, or you all have done, is like you can either film yourself writing something down, or you can write it down ahead of time and then just place a card down. But I guess, yeah, there's technical challenges to be sure. Victoria, did you mount your camera this time? Because I think I said a comment that like your camera was too shaky, and then it wasn't shaky anymore. So did you build a mount?
I didn't build one. So I was also I used to hold it with my hand, and I know that my hand isn't very steady. And then, so what I did this time was I have like a clip for my GoPro. So I clipped it onto the top of my laptop and then based it down onto my keyboard, which I had the clipboard on. So then it was able to look down on the clipboard, and it was so much easier because then I had two hands to work with, and I didn't have to worry about whether or not my camera was shaking. So, but I didn't know. So like I got that idea kind of from like, I watched one of your videos of like behind the studio kind of thing. And I saw like the whole like setup that you had to keep your camera looking down in like a still frame. So then I tried to like simplify that, and I was like, all right, I'll just clip it to my laptop.
Cool. Yeah, there's a lot of little tricks that you can, because it's funny, right? Like you've got a camera, and it's like, okay, here's an eyeball, right? Like your audience is gonna be inside this little box here, and then you have to like think about how you're positioning the eyeball with like an audience in mind on the other end. It's a tricky thing, but it's a fun challenge, I think, to like try to figure out creative ways of showing images to people. Yeah, so Nwang, that video was fantastic. Really great job.
Thank you. Okay.
Should we watch Novenas now? What do you think about that, Melvina?
Okay.
All right. I'm going to find the link and post it. There's a lot of views. I don't understand why EvoTivo gets views. It's so perplexing to me. But yeah, Melvina, your videos are reliably highly viewed.
Oh yeah, I guess
I'm
my
gonna post.
friends to watch to give me feedback. I know, like they
Oh,
can.
really?
Yeah.
What did they? Well, let's watch it, and then I'm curious to hear what your friends said. But I posted the link in the chat box. I'm gonna mute my microphone. Okay. Thoughts on Melvina's video?
I like how she always kind of like re-explains things in her own words rather than just like reiterating what was said in lecture. She kind of puts like her own personal twist onto it, which I appreciate. But I thought the volume was a little bit low. And also like when she puts text or like images on the screen, it tends to cover her face. So I think like maybe just like lowering the text so you could still see her speaking, but also read the text.
Yeah, adding on that, I like when she said that altruism in a sense is almost confusing to her. Not that she doesn't understand it, that the thought of how it happens could be seen as confusing because it kind of puts her on the same level as her audience. And then the way she describes it and the way she talks about how she could see societies leaning towards selfishness, but Forbes says that, you know, altruism still happens, almost kind of makes the video into a group discussion kind of thing. Like if you were watching it with your friends, that section of the video would lead you guys to start talking about those thoughts. But also, like, going back to the text thing, I feel like the text just didn't like visually supplement my understanding of what she was saying anymore. Like it almost didn't need to be there. Just because of like the timing of it wasn't great for me. But like again, like similar to Richard's, like the script of it and what was said was really good. Just the visual aid didn't really do it for me.
Yeah, I think the sort of similar to what Victoria said, I think that the strongest aspect of this video and most of your videos, Melvina, has been your willingness to or the way that you really do try to frame things in terms of like how you personally were thinking about it. I think I've said this before, but I think that's one of the powers of YouTube specifically as a medium for conveying information is that it's conveyed by personalities. You know, there are people in the screens and they're talking to you and they have perspectives. And so I really appreciated the points in your video where you made it clear that it was your perspective and you know, this is Melvina sort of like thinking about these issues. And I really liked that framing, and I would have like I'd like to see more of that in your next one. But yeah, as was also said, there were some issues in the visual text that you used and the audio levels and things like that that sort of detracted from the message that you were trying to convey. But I think that personal message and that personal perspective was quite powerful.
Yeah, the visual text, I was just trying to do something different, but I didn't know exactly what to do. And yeah, I got a lot of like negative feedback on the text, like not to use it and stuff because it didn't really correlate. But yeah, I'm just gonna find ways to use visual aids without having it not really correlate with what I'm saying.
So tell me, you just sent that video to you've been sending your videos to your friends or like in an email or on Facebook? How have you been sharing it?
Oh yeah, just through text. I just said to go on the channel to just look at it and give me the feedback, and they've just been pretty harsh. So they don't need to watch it anymore, but now they know the channel. So
well, that's really cool. I'm glad. Has anybody else been sharing their videos outside of the course?
I've been sending links to like my family and my close friends just because they love to laugh at me, like whenever I try to do anything. So like maybe like 4 or 5 people.
I've only sent it to my boyfriend, but he always just says he likes it. Whether or not he actually does, I don't know. He might just be saving my feelings, but that's really the only person I've been sending it to.
Well, that's really cool. I'm glad to hear that you folks have been sharing this stuff. You know, that's very heartwarming to me to know that you're asking other people what they think. Even if they're going to give you platitudes because they like you for other reasons, it's still a big deal. Well, yeah, so maybe that can segue us into the last bit of today. I'm curious to hear from you folks how the course went. Your reaction to this format? Did you like making videos? Did you like the sort of seminar style of lots of disparate information kind of thrown at you in chunks? The way, like, what are your thoughts about this course compared to other biology classes you've taken at Binghamton?
I personally, so like there was definitely things I do like and didn't like. So I liked the topics chosen and I liked the format because it was such a small group. So even if we didn't necessarily want to speak, we had to. And I think that really helped a lot. Like just being like giving us I felt like I had more opportunity to ask questions and speak out loud than I have in like other classes at Binghamton because they're sort of large and the teacher just kind of talks for an hour and then you leave. So I felt like I really had the chance to learn the material. And then by creating a video, like we had to know what we were talking about to make a 3-minute long video about it. So I felt like I was able to really kind of grasp what I was taught rather than just leaving the lecture and never thinking about it again. So it kind of really helped to enforce the ideas being taught. The only thing, I think this was more just like a time thing, was just like it was a lot to do with little time. But that's just the nature of a winter course. So like creating a video in 2 days, I would kind of get a little stressed out because I was like, oh, there's not enough time in a day. And then also just like me being home, it was hard to find like quiet time so I could record with no background noise. But that's more so just like technical things and not really knowing the software at the onset. But now, like, I've definitely gotten quicker at editing. So I think it's just like a big learning curve, but it's definitely fun making a video. It just can be stressful with the time constraint.
Yeah, I am displeased by the time constraint too. That's if I teach this course again, I don't think I'm going to teach it in the winter semester because it was just way too intense.
Yeah.
That's very, very helpful feedback.
Oh, I missed you guys. What are you guys talking about?
Oh, the internet. Yes, that's one problem with this class is that the live streaming technology is not really there yet. So we were just sort of giving some final thoughts about how the class went, what parts worked, what parts didn't, how it could be improved.
Oh. Well, I personally think, I mean, the time frame is one thing on itself, but it's a winter class, so I understand. But in general, like how the course is structured in terms of the improvement curve, because it's, and I like the way, like when I read the syllables he posted like the first week, it's explaining how you prefer us to learn than to just just brush through the course or like just to do something, but but to learn. I really like that, and how you explain how like to adapt. Education is about adaptation. It's not about what you can do, but like adapting. I really like that because it made me feel that it's going to push me for me to know something. Not because most of my courses at Binghamton has been like, oh, just read and just take a test and just go my way. But I've really learned something in this course for some reasons, like stuff that I wasn't like ready to learn. I had to learn because I had to also make a video on that. So I really like how you structured your course, and I think encouraging us to make videos. I think it's one of the best strategy that any professor can make, because you have to read everything, combine everything, and then bring out what you understand, which is a really good strategy. So I think this course has really helped me, and also on that sort of making videos. I had a passion to make videos, but I didn't know how to go about it. But now I think I can use Adobe Pro and stuff like that. So it's really helped me. Yeah, it really helped me.
Yeah, I agree that just doing it, like just jumping into the deep end and trying to figure out how to video edit is definitely a interesting way to go about learning it. And I definitely like that. I also like your like quick and dirty explanations of how to do editing things, because yeah, like I wouldn't be able to sit there for half an hour watching a painstaking tutorial video of how to do one thing. I enjoy the 20-second, like just this is how it's done, figure it out from there, like almost like Maximus, if you took like all the clips of things you've showed us in our lectures from the last 3 weeks and just put that into like a quick, like how to do some basic stuff in like Premiere for this class video, you wouldn't even have to film or record anything else. You could just take the few things you've done, and like I feel like an incoming student to watch that, like it really explains the interface well, because you just use the interface so, you know, seamlessly. It like showed me at least kind of just like how to navigate Adobe, and then I was able to figure out a lot of things on my own from there. Like my last video, the editing definitely took a step up from the first 3, and that's because I just went through and rewatched things from the January 5th lecture, and just you navigating through the interface, I figured out how to do all that kind of stuff, you know, at least on like a better level than intro, you know.
Yeah, I should make some better video editing tutorials. That's a really good comment. Because there's a few up there, but they're hidden and they're not. Yeah, that is wise. I will do that for next time before the course begins for sure.
I feel like you're very good at it, and I feel like you would be able to make a very like usable video for a first time editor, whereas most videos are just too long or too boring or aren't really to the point. You know, like you're very good at just getting to the point of like, this is the concept, this is how you do it, and like it's just that simple, you know.
Yeah, I agree with Chris.
Did you folks use because like there's a lot of videos online of different editing techniques. Did you folks like look up different Premiere tutorials as you were doing this?
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, you could go, Noang.
I was just gonna say, yeah, I did, especially for the first video where I didn't know how to like layer photos and put in like text. So I Googled everything this whole semester.
Yeah, that Google is your textbook in many ways.
Yeah, I did the same, but like Chris was saying, they're kind of just like way too long, like longer than they need to be, and they don't get to the point until the end. And so
Yeah.
it was like kind of frustrating, but I mean, like it did help with some things, but I found that a lot of times what I was learning from other tutorials wasn't necessarily the best way to do it. And I feel like you knew the quickest and like easiest way to do it. And I feel like these discussion sections where you would just like go through the video and then be like, here's how you fix this problem was the most helpful. So I think like the little tutorials that you would give within our discussion sections were like the most helpful out of everything.
Cool.
My biggest problem is like I can't find videos that are ever up to date. So like I'll find these videos of like 2016 Premiere how to do it, but the interface isn't exactly the same. So like I could not figure out where the effects controls button was until my last video, and I couldn't do anything without that one critical function, because every tutorial video ever, it was just up top where like assembly and editing and graphics are. But for some reason on mine, I have to click the little tab that's like the piece of clip I'm trying to edit, and then it gives me a drop down list where effects controls is an option. And I just try to find that on my own. And like not a single video was like Adobe CC 2018. You know, it was all like an older version where the interface isn't quite the same. I just couldn't find anything up to date, especially when I was trying to figure out OBS. Like every single video is from like 2 years ago, and OBS is just not the same. You know, like it's completely changed.
Yeah, that's frustrating. I run into that problem frequently. Like I've got a decent knowledge now of like where to find things in Premiere, but still like 2/3 of that program are mysterious to me. And there's things hidden in places that I have no idea where they are. I mean, that they're remarkably complicated pieces of software. So great job for just jumping in and figuring it out. Like it's very impressive that you all could do that.
Well, I really like it now. I really like it now because initially I was like, oh my God, I didn't like it at all. But after, you know, knowing where everything is, I think I'll be able to use it in my other classes, you know, for presentation and stuff. I think it's very ideal to use it.
Yeah, I'm on board with Richard. This turned out to be like a great skill. I enjoy that I know more about. I almost want to keep trying to like do it. I want like a reason to make videos now, because I feel like if I got really good at it, it'd be something that's like cool to do. Like tedious, yes, but it's definitely like fun in a sense. Like, and I get a lot of like hubris out of it. Like I'll just watch my own video like 10 times. And I did this. I made this.
And
I'm
it's
actually-
like,
I'm really. Who was speaking?
Oh, that was me.
Yeah.
So for the Premiere Pro, I just remembered the payment that we did for the month. Is that like every month that it's gonna happen? Do we have to like cancel that?
I don't know that. I think that depends on how you signed up. But yeah, do check that. You don't want to be paying Adobe every month for software you're not going to be using. I mean, Adobe is not some sort of like scam company. Like they're not trying to like, you know, they don't get you to sign up for something and then bill you without your knowledge or consent. But like, yeah, do check into that because they may bill you for another month.
Right.
I think the way you showed us initially in the class was just one-time payment, 19 something. So I think we should.
I thought it was just like you don't have to do it for a full year. Like you get to choose when to stop, right?
I know like the one I signed up for is a recurring monthly membership, but it said after 2 weeks of using the program, if you cancel your membership, you'll get it for the remainder of the month, but then it'll stop charging you. But if you do it before 2 weeks, it just cancels your access to the program. So at this point, you should be good just to cancel it. But like I know like mine, I have to go now when this class is over, like sign into my account on the website and cancel my membership, or it's gonna, you know, charge me on like whatever day I signed up, like the 3rd of every month, something like that. Like that was mine. It's a recurring monthly, so like it's gonna charge you 1 month at a time until you cancel it, and then you're just good.
Right. I also had a second comment when we were talking about like watching videos for tutorials. I did what like Mel suggested at the beginning of the semester, where you put it on like 1.5 speed and just watch it really fast. And that helped.
Yeah, those Adobe tutorials, they're super tedious. Yeah. Well, yeah.
I was gonna say, did you like maybe consider for like if you had to do this again like next winter, maybe during like finals week, send out an email with like a bonus assignment of like make some kind of like 30-second like introduce yourself video. You don't have to in case you're super busy with finals, but like have it by like the first class, and you could do like feedback and stuff in a sense, just so like you can kind of get off the ground running. Like your first video you have to submit for a grade isn't necessarily your first shot at editing, and you can maybe get a little bit of like practice as a first time editor, you know, like just some quick, you know, like quick and dirty 30-second, like just make something, anything, and we'll give you feedback on, you know, like the things you did and did not do right.
That's a really interesting thought. I guess so. I have been sort of sensitive about this, and maybe too sensitive, that like I really didn't want to give you folks work until the course began. But of course I did anyway, right? Like I was giving you all those orientation videos ahead of time, and then we actually had our first class before the semester technically began, because there just isn't enough time in the semester. I really like that idea, Chris. I was wary, and like the other thing is you missed the intro. Like we did like send out selfies to each other, so we all knew what each other's face looked like. But I really like that idea of giving everybody a 30-second intro video. But I
we're all, I'm assuming, like seniors or at least upperclassmen. And like I know like me, I had one final in the fall. Like I easily could have had the time to make a 30-second video. You know, like I assume people at this point are having less finals, or at least like you're older and you can, you know, manage yourself in a way that you can handle a 30-second video on top of studying. But again, it would be optional, because God forbid you're just like that one pre-med student who you're too busy. You know, you just do not have the extra minute. I don't know, just a thought.
But yeah, that's a fantastic idea. So I think I will include that next time permitting. Yeah, and what you said earlier, I mean that's exactly what I wanted to hear. I mean, I'm really glad to hear that playing with this editor got you excited about it. Because you know, we live in this virtual world now where more and more we're communicating through video. And so that's why I designed the class this way, is that, you know, hope that, you know, maybe you're not going to be thinking about Hamilton's rule in 10 years, but you might be making videos, because for whatever else that you're doing, it's a valuable skill. So I'm glad to hear that reflected in what you're saying.
It did ruin YouTube for me though now, because when I watch videos, I can't help but notice things like cuts and things that I'm like, oh, video edited hard right there, like, or like, wow, this guy clearly like had the voice separate and is just mashed them really well. Like, ruined YouTube for me.
Yeah, I mean, there are people that are ridiculously skillful on YouTube, and that's, so I tried to, you know, I was sending out videos every day showing you a smattering of different science communicators, but like even science communicators is like this tiny fraction. Yeah, I mean, the amount of editing skill that goes into making a viral YouTube video is unprecedented. Like it's really crazy. So I don't think I ruined YouTube for you, actually. I think I made YouTube better. Now you can watch it and be like, oh, whoa, that person is so bad or so good. I don't know.
It's just like one of those like glass shattering moments, you know, like now I'm going to have these kind of thoughts every time I watch something on YouTube. I'm going to be like critiquing the editor.
Yeah.
One thing that I had to get over during the video making process was I don't like to watch myself in recordings, and I really don't like my voice in recordings, but making the videos and constantly having to listen and watch myself during the editing kind of helped me get over that little hurdle.
Yeah, a friend of mine walked into my room yesterday while I was editing, and she was like, how can you stand watching yourself over and over and over again? And I don't know, maybe I just have a really big ego, and but that that was never an issue for me. But maybe it was years ago. It is a common thing. When you hear your voice recorded, you think it's weird. Yeah, I don't know.
I definitely agree with her. That's why a lot of my videos have focused on animations and zero of me, just my voice.
So I have a question about the next step. I know we have to send in the summaries of our video watching history and our comments list, right?
Yeah, I was just gonna pivot to that, so that's perfect. So I will. So if you go to EvoTivo at the playlists, I made a playlist of video tutorials. Here, I will post the playlist in the comment bar right now. I'm just pulling it up. Okay. Yeah, so there's the playlist. So if you go to the playlist, there's two tutorials. One says tutorial on how to generate your YouTube history as a Word document, and the other tutorial is on converting your comment history to a Word document. So they're both 2 or 3 minute videos. So it's a little bit of a chore, but it shouldn't take you more than 15 minutes to do the whole thing. And basically it's the general idea is that you go to your YouTube account, you look up your comment history, you look up your watch history, and you just highlight the entire web page, and copy it and then post it into a Word document, and then send me that Word document. And I'm not going to be scrutinizing it too carefully. It's just to make sure that you've watched the things that I've sent you, and to make sure that you've commented on all of your classmates' videos. And I could check those comments manually, but it's just easier for me to have them in a single Word document that I can just skim over. Feel free to augment these. You can doctor them however you want to doctor them. But I think doctoring them is more work than just doing the work. So I'm not too concerned.
I have a question. So do we need to be leaving comments on the videos you've been sending us via email every day, those random ones, or is it just enough that we watch them?
It's just enough that you watch those. I don't expect you to comment on other YouTubers' videos, but I do expect that you comment on.
And you'll know that we did it with us taking our history and putting it in a Word doc. That's how you'll know that it was seen.
Yeah, exactly. And the comments, the only comments that are required of you are commenting on your classmates' videos, which you all have been doing.
Should we wait to comment on like the video we're making for yesterday's, or should we just do it from Monday?
You should just do it from Monday. I mean, I would like for you to watch each other's final videos and comment on them. That would be nice. But given the grading deadline that I have, which is from the university, I need this stuff in sooner rather than later. So yes, technically you won't be graded on your comments for the last videos that people are making.
So when is this due? Like this part?
This is due on Monday the 15th.
Okay.
Yeah. If that's a problem, Victoria, we can, you can send it to me with your final video. But again, generating these comment and watch history shouldn't take you more than 10 minutes to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are there videos from the week I wasn't participating that I missed that are going to be counted against me?
I believe you watched. So there's a video. No, because you made video. You made the ContraPoints video on gender, and you did the German Sherman video.
Like the ones you've been emailing to us, just like the miscellaneous YouTube videos of tutorials and scientific.
No, that's Don't. I will be for your attendance and all of the attendance related things like watching videos daily and things like that. I'm taking that into account for you. Yeah. So you don't need to worry about that. So send me the comment history and the watch history and finish up your final video, and your grades will be posted next week. And I think that's that. Yeah, any parting words? I guess I have some parting words. Thank you so much for making this class what it is. Like it's especially in such a small group, like it's really contingent on your enthusiasm and your participation, and I've been really thrilled at how engaged you all have been. So you've made this class work really well, and so yeah, it's been a really great time with you all. I've appreciated it a lot.
Thank you.
Thanks. Same.
I have one more thing.
Okay.
I was just curious. Do you personally reach out to these lecturers and pick the topics for the seminars?
I do. It's a pain in the ass. It's a huge amount of work.
I just wanted to say, I think the topics you picked are great because I went to a lot of the fall seminars for extra credit for ecology, and it became a running joke between me and my friend. It's like every other one was just either the most ridiculous concept or it was done by a poor lecturer, and we just kept laughing at EvoS seminar as a joke. And this totally turned around my opinion of the whole thing because I feel like the 5 lectures you chose were excellent. I was engaged in them at least. I learned something. It definitely wasn't a joke. This time around, I really appreciated the EvoS seminars. But in the fall, I just don't think those were good at all. And I think your outreach was awesome.
The EvoS department is undergoing some shifts at Binghamton, and I think last fall was a particular low point. And it's there were budget cuts and things, but getting good speakers is a pain. For 5 speakers I had to email 15, and 5 of them say yes. And then there's this juggling of oh, I don't know who's gonna say yes, and then sometimes I email more people than I actually have slots for, and it's a job. And I don't get paid enough. I get paid $1,000 for the whole thing. If you break it down, it's something like 50 cents an hour that I'm making to this. But I love it. I don't do it because I expect to get rich. Although it would be nice if I were better paid. You're paying all this money and it just goes, I don't know where it goes. It goes to the administration or something.
Cut the grass.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, thanks for that comment, because it's I tried to choose speakers that are talking about things that I really care about and also have a kind of coherent thing. Like I am fixated on this cooperation bit, right? Like you've heard reference, like I live in a hippie commune, right? This concept of, you know, how do we make cooperation better, something that I'm fixated on. And so I'm glad to be able to share some of those perspectives through experts that know it better than I do even. Yeah. Cool. Well, it's been a great semester. Thank you all very much. And I look forward to watching your final videos.
Yep. Thank you, man. Thank you for everything.
Yeah,
Appreciate it,
thank you.
Lazarus.
I enjoyed this class.
Thank you.
Great. Farewell.
Bye.
Bye.